Shalom Belekim. It is Elohim, your Elohim. And I know it's been a minute, but if you don't know, I decided not to post a video. I was down and out. I didn't never posted the video, but I spun a rod again. The crank was finished, and had to go through a long process. Turned out that some of my rods were bent, and couldn't reuse some of those, so I was trying to find 6-1 rods, which is extremely hard to find if you try. And I ended up going with a full stroker. I didn't know anything about strokers and boring and all this stuff. I didn't know what that stuff really meant. But when I ordered the stroker, and came with the K1 rods, the Wise Code pistons, so the compression is going to be increased. I didn't know when I saw 426 and things like that on the side of Mopars. I didn't know what that was about. Once again, I am a rookie, and that's why I do these videos are for, so that men like me, if you are like me and you're just engine building starting out, try to give you the information and the knowledge I didn't have, because I'm telling you, you're not going to get it from your aftermarket dealers and things, and even your machine. Well, I will say the best bet is when you go to like machine shops and things, that you ask as many questions as you can. Ask questions as you can. That's what I've done, and I got the engine back together, on the block back together. Got the stroke, got the crank in there, and it was about to put my pistons in, and my pistons didn't fit. So that's when I figured out, oh, you got to bore it out to meet the new bore of the stroker kit. So it was 2 more weeks getting it bored out, 3 weeks actually. Finally got it back, got everything assembled once again, and then got to my 8th piston and my crank wouldn't turn anymore. This is when I discovered clearance issues. Say it with me, class. Clearance issues. When you have a stroker, the beams are normally longer, and you're going to have to take note of your clearance issues. Now, pay close attention. I'm gonna name a few things. You can use the Hemi 6.1 heads are stock 74cc. That means I forgot. 70 cc is centimeters. I forget what it means. Compression centimeters, something like that. But it's a compression centimeters. They're 74 cc. I've got a 420. I think this is 424. But you just have to pay attention to all of this when you're dealing with your manufacturer that you're ordering from, the aftermarket. But you can use your stock heads. You don't need a different head gasket. You can use stock head gasket, stock heads. Now, what you're going to run into is you cannot use your stock windage or windage tray. This is the window right beneath your oil pan, over beneath your crank. This, what you see, is a result of this. I've been at it since this morning. I got up at 8 a.m. I was going to drop my engine back in, but I knew I hadn't turned it over since I had put the crank back in, so I knew I need to turn it over to see if anything was hitting or binding one last time, and lo and behold, I heard the 10 from the windage tray. The stock Hemi windage trays windage trays don't come with these openings, and you can see this was hitting that opening. You can buy them aftermarket, different sites. Just type in, what you want to type in is SRT8 6.1 liter stroker windage tray, and then they'll pop up for you. Jeg has got them, Extreme Muscle, High Horse Performance, Keze Wakaza. You know all the brands, they've got them. But these cut into them, so that your new rod caps, which is longer because of the distance of the stroke of the piston arms, of the rod arms, is going to hit the inside of the tray. Because I'm determined and I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and you may have better tools than me, but this is what I used. I would drill about 1, 2, 3, 4 holes at the corners. My drill bits that I use, you can see, I use the Focus M8, M6, and the M10. Never used the M10. I just used the M6 and the M8. And what I did was I would make about trial and error. All right, so I'm giving you the best method. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I go 5, 6. So I had 3 holes here, 3 holes like dominoes. Then I put 7, 8, and then I begin to knock out the centers of those. Once I got it cleared out to about this perimeter, which, by the way, after the first one, like I said, I tried and error one, I did a cutout of this, see? And I just drew these on the inside of the windage tray, and just so I could cut it out, cut all the rest of them the same, took my ruler, lined them up nice and even. And then you have to have these. These bad boys have saved my life in more ways than one, which I'm about to reveal to you shortly. I got these at, I ordered them off of Amazon. They were like $8, something like that. And I bought these for fouling piston rings. But as always, EA can see what I can see. So as you can see, it comes, the little kit comes with one fouler like this. It's just a straight edge. Then it got one that's got the hemispherical shape. This is the one that's been my, I don't know why it's not focusing. Let me move off of that stuff. There we go. This is the one that's been my saving grace right here. That's the one I'm telling you is going to help you get to all the angles that you need. As you can see, that's what helps you achieve this angle here, those ovals. See? And that thing right there, that straight edge, is like a knife. That straight edge is like a knife. The thing cuts. I'm telling you, right? This is what you need. These will do the job. And it comes with this as well. Just help you get some little nooks and crannies and whatnot like that. Also, you see my hammer was just early on. I didn't use it once I got the hang of it, and that punch, I didn't really need those. That was just me getting the hang of it. And I tried my rig saw at one point, had too much force behind it, so I stopped using that. Then I would suggest a little box to catch metals. I'm gonna give you my, this is EA's garage, right? EA's garage. This is my garage. As you can see, my new canopy, $8 at Walmart. Had to get it, right? And I used the box that the crank came in. As you can see, all those holes. So when I'm drilling down, I would just drill down right into the box, right? So you can see all the holes I made. And so once I finished drilling the holes, I would just then go around the edges, working it from both sides until I got it smooth. And then don't forget to sand down your burrs so it's nice and smooth. And you can see, if you look on the site, go on any of those aftermarket sites, this looks just like their windage trays. And those windage trays cost $150. I did this for free by myself with an $8 tool. Now mind you, I've got drills and things I've collected, so you may not have those things. And hopefully you can just order one. Like in the future, if I had to change my windage tray, I'll just order it. I'm not going to do this again. I'm only doing this because I already had the tray and I did not feel like waiting another day. I'm already behind enough, so I just did it myself. All right. Now, let's see. I'm trying to cover everything clearance-wise. You're also going to find that, so make sure you, with your stroker, you're going to have to bore out your cylinders. All right, these are your cylinders. You got to bore those out. Might have been bored out. That's not stock anymore. Okay, he's a beast, I'm telling you. So that's not stock. They've been bored out. Wide-scope pistons. You can see now I got those little dishes for the exhausts and the intakes, so it gives you more room. Get it bored out by the engine shop. $425 for the boring and stroking. Don't forget to take your rod caps, your main rod caps. Let me show you what your main rod caps are. Your main rod caps. Take these with you when you go to the machine shop. They'll need those to hone and bore those out, bore and hone it. and $65. So it was like 40, it was like 375, something like that. $65 for them to clean it. And so I took all my plugs, just bring them the engine block. So they bored it, honed it, rod caps and cylinders, and cleaned everything out. 425 bucks. Not bad, not bad. Shacklet Automotive is who I went to, Dunn Avenue, Nashville. Shalom to you, shalom to you all. Blessings. 3 weeks, what it took. Could be more, could be less. That's the general. I mean, that's about the turnaround time for these things, and it's been a lot longer. So that's not a bad turnaround time. Some of the quotes I've gotten in the past. And I knew one engine shop that said a week, but I wanted to go with these guys because I had already worked with them and been talking to them beforehand. Now, last thing I will show you, since you've done that, now you'll already know, get your windage tray aftermarket, or take one if you already got that one. Do what I did, make it appropriately. You have to wait and measure it, see where it hits at. That's what you do. You put it on top, turn it, and then you'll see scrape marks from where it's hitting the tray. Which reminds me, before I move to the last thing, it was also hitting it right here, so I cut that out. I drilled a hole, I used my drill and I pull up, and then I just sand it down, and then because it was hitting right there too. So hitting at the end of the rods, and it was hitting right there at the tray on the side. The last place it was hitting on the side, and I did this before I found that. I found that the oil galley, I got my light here. See right there? Let's zoom in for y'all. I'm trying to focus. I want you to look right here, but it's, yeah, I'm trying to get you. It's hard to focus right there. Right there. That's where the rod was hitting the oil engine galley. That's the crankshaft position sensor. There's a little oil galley right there. I sanded that down, as you can see. Once again, it was this tool right here that saved me. Right here. Bam. Bad to the bone. This guy right here. Oops, wrong one. This guy right here, because I could get that cylinder shape. See, I get that cylinder shape there. And you have to clear that right there. At least for my application. Your application is going to be trial and error, because like I said, the engine guys, they're not going to tell you everything. You got to do this thing yourself. I'm just trying to help y'all out. So I got that fixed, and as you can see underneath, those are the oil plug stoppers. I no longer have the oil squirter, jet oil squirters under there, which cool the bottom of the pistons. Trying to get that one out of there so it focuses more. You see it though, top of the screen there, right? Yeah, there you go. I plugged those in. I was able to do that without taking the rods out. I basically used my fingers to reach down, my index and my middle finger. Then I used a long extension to press it down. Then I took a magnet to hold the screw, because those are plastic. They're not metal. Not plastic, but they're not metal, right? So I couldn't use a magnet on the plug itself, but I used it on the screw. Put it down there, then took the extension, reached down and screwed them in. And I had to rotate the crank to get to them. But I was able to do it without taking them out. I could use the magnet to take out the old oil squirters, because those are metal. But the oil squirters, when you get a stroker kit, they don't clear either. So you have to get rid of those, because that was binding too. Now I ordered these for $65 off of High Horsepower Performance, and I overnighted them $65. So, but there's a website, I think it's called, I forget the name. I'll put it in the description, that you can get these for $12.55. Or was it 17? Something like that. I will put the link in the description for you. I'll even put a windage tray in the link in the description for you. Yes, you have to replace those 4 oil squirters with these, and that's because your new aftermarket Wiseco pistons have a lot better. They're forged, and they stay cool better because they have more holes perforated into the pistons themselves. So they actually don't necessarily need the squirters like the OE ones do. Once again, I had to learn all this on the fly, so I'm trying to give everything there is to know that knowledge I've gained about the stroker kits. When you go stroker, everything's longer, and everything's gotta be measured and taken like it's your first time. Okay. Let's see. I think I've covered everything. No more oil plugs. No more. And those are called oil squirter plugs, by the way. No more oil squirter cooler jets. Those go out the window. You have to get oil squirter plugs. You're gonna have to look at your clearance issues around your engine. That's what I found. The 6.1, the oil galley, was a clearance issue. File that down. Your windage tray. Stock windage tray will not work. I don't suggest trying to let it hit until it goes into form, because you'll end up ripping that rubber on the side, the gasket, and you'll be in trouble. And you'll mess up your screws if it hits it hard enough. Don't forget how much power these put out, so you don't want to take chances like that. So you're going to have to cut in your hose, or like I said, just buy a windage tray. I'll put a link in the description to the one I found, one or two that I found, maybe just one, and cut that notch. That's what I found. 2007 SRT8 6.1. As far as clearance issues go, other than that, I'll give you this tidbit of information. On the 6.1 stock, these have the lips have a big side and a small side. I don't know if you know that. On the 6.1, the small sides meet in the middle on 1 and 2. Small sides meet in the middle on 7 and 8. But on the 6.1 original factory, in the two middle, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, the big sides meet in the middle on those two. Aftermarket, it's the small ones all the way through. So make sure when you put your pistons together, you orient where the big part of the piston rod cap is against the wide. They got wider lips on these strokers. They go out away from the crank, and the small side goes in the middle on all of them. Another tidbit of information for you, very important. And they also suggest with a stroker, I just happen to already have it, an under pulley or an aftermarket pulley. I already had done that upgrade. I'm not sure, but people do suggest that. They say because of the keys. I noticed my stroker had 2 keys. These are keys. This one has 1 key. My K1 stroker here had 2 keys. One on the front part. It was 1 here and 1 here. So it made it easier actually to install my pulley this time. So, but other than that, family, yeah, any questions, put them in the comment section, and hope this helps you out. Next time you see me, I'll maybe give you an update on where I am. And, the day is waning, but got it done. Get this oil pan torqued down, and I'm gonna get it on the hoist, and I'm putting it in today. I'm not taking a break till I get this thing in here. It's just how I am. With that, shalom, shalom, iye beleki, iye, shalom.